you is what I do best.
Ugh, that was extremely horrifying and graphic. What happened next? Just tore their ribcage out, just like that? Oh, well, that's just what happens when you get about 3 or 4 little people together in a group. Sure, but you can't hold that against them. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't! Alright, I'm just not continuing this conversation. It's getting toxic. Because your medication makes you irrational. How dare you, you wretch! Alright, Grandma, I'll let you go. Good luck and be safe getting through the Canadian border. And remember that horse meat is highly volatile from all the chemicals we cooked it with. Alright. Love you too, Grandma. Bye-bye. Unlike my man Eminem, I don't need drama to keep making the Bucket Man Show. So tell me, when it came time for show and tell at your school, what type of kid were you? Were you the kid that brought in your favorite toy? Were you the kid that brought in your favorite souvenir from a vacation? Were you the awesome kid who brought in their pet? Or were you the kid who tried to sneak something weird in? To use another word, cheat it in. Well, funny enough, cheating stuff in the play is actually a pretty big gimmick in Magic the Gathering. And today we're gonna do it in a big way. In the age-old deck you should all know as Grixis Sneak and Show. So yes, you'll recall at the top of the year I did a similar video. It was called Grixis Sneak Attack. And now that Murders at Karlov Manor has released their special guest series, we have a whole new slew of powerful cards for Timeless. The card here in reference being Show and Tell. Show and Tell is a 3-mana blue sorcery. It permits each player to drop 1 artifact, creature, land, or enchantment onto the battlefield immediately. So you may be thinking,
Objection! Hey, why would we want to give our opponents anything for free?
And I'd say, well, my friend, to refute that point, I like to refer to the fact that we built our deck a little bit differently with Show and Tell in mind. Our deck is designed for us to sift through it, answer problems on the board, and get out Show and Tell or Sneak Attack as quickly as possible to drop one of our enormous targets. Between Atraxa, Omniscience, and Worldspine Worm, we'll have everything we need to cast our spells, fill our hand, and go in for the lethal blow. So what do you say we sneak onto a match and go see if our opponent shows up for Show and Tell? Now, if it weren't for the fact that this hand only had 1 land in it, we would keep it. But that's not the case, so we will mull. Okay, again, we're not going to just rely on 1 land. That isn't going to work for us. We will mull again, unfortunately. What are we gonna do? We'll keep it. Our opponent shocks into play a Watery Grave and passes the turn. We will shock into play a Steam Vents and pass the turn. Our opponent drops a Polluted Delta and passes the turn. We will brainstorm to see if we have anything good coming our way. And we'll put those 2 Fatal Pushes back on top. We will shock in a Blood Crypt, cast a Dark Ritual to generate 3 black mana, and then ask what could be cooler than casting a turn 2 Sneak Attack.
Well, brother, if you're really curious, let me show you.
What the fuck? That Matthew McConaughey. Alright. Oh my god, why do I want to go windsurfing now? Me and Richard Dreyfuss used to go windsurfing in the late 80s after we filmed American Graffiti. This is gonna be a rough episode. Fool's Gold was fucking stupid. Ooh, I met a woman and now we're going to go treasure hunting on my boat. Our opponent drops a Field of Ruin and passes their turn. Alright, our turn. I think it's time for us to start laying down some pipe. Or worm.
You know, me and Joey Lornabs used to hang out all the time when we were filming Dazed and Confused. You know, I lay a lot of pipe then, you know what I'm saying? Now, give me back my body!
Matthew McConaughey, you get back in my sweet supple man body and you stay there! Anyway, as we were, I'm having an LSD relapse. What does this button do? Oh yeah, that's what it does. Alright, now that we have our head back together, let's swing in and take out most of their life. Hawkless, backflip, rabbit, piece! Well, we may have had to sacrifice our Worldspine Worm. The good news is the death trigger still happens, so we get our 3/5/5 worms. At least that's still somewhat of a threat he has to deal with. Our opponent drops a Field of Ruin, flings a Fatal Push at one of our worm tokens, pops their Field of Ruin on our Blood Crypt, because, you know, what else are they gonna do? We will cast a Brainstorm in response. Reason being, our library is about to be shuffled. Why not put away these 2 Fatal Pushes and get some new cards? Hey. You're pushing it.
Hey man, what are you, autistic or something? That was fucking stupid.
Yeah, I am autistic. What of it? So now that our opponent's coming up to their end step, being that we have an Atraxa in our hand, we will activate Sneak Attack and sneak it right into play at the end of their turn. The logic being, Sneak Attack says sacrifice the creature at the beginning of the next end step. So if we activate it during their end step, it won't go away until our end step. And now we got a nice, healthy, and full hand. Now we could easily win this by sneaking in the worm into play. However, I would like to be able to use the card we've added into this new build. So we're going to give them one more turn to get out of this and show and tell the worm into play, as well as beating them in the face for 12 for good measure. Our opponent drops a Ghost Quarter, delves into a Dig Through Time. Huh, that's not what Dig Through Time's supposed to do. It's supposed to help you look through your library, not make your head explode. Alright, we'll side in the Spell Pierces, Counter Spells, and Thought Seizes to counteract their interaction. And then side out some Fatal Pushes and other odds and ends. And jump into Game 2. Here's how we're going to view this hand. Yes, we have one land. However, we have a Brainstorm to find more land, a Spell Pierce to stall, and a Demonic Tutor to make the job a whole lot easier if we find another land. But we will keep. Our opponent drops a Polluted Delta and passes the turn. Oh yeah, we draw our land. We will drop an island and pass the turn. Our opponent will pop their Polluted Delta, grabbing themselves a Watery Grave. Our opponent uses their turn to drop a Polluted Delta and passes. Moving to our turn, we will cast a Demonic Tutor, picking a Dark Ritual out of our library. Why a Dark Ritual, you ask? I will explain come next turn. Our opponent pops their Polluted Delta, grabbing a Sunken Hollow. Moving to our opponent's turn, they drop a Flooded Strand and pass. Very exciting. Right, now I'll explain why a Demonic Tutor for a Dark Ritual. You see, now that we've shocked a Steam Vents into play, we can use the black mana from the Blood Crypt to cast Dark Ritual, and then use 2 of that black mana and our island to cast Show and Tell, leaving the Steam Vents open to cast Spell Pierce in case they try to counter our Show and Tell. See what I tell you, there's sneaky fucks out there, you gotta be prepared. Alrighty then, let's drop us some Omniscience. Alright, let's get us to slinging some spells. I also don't know why I'm talking like Slim Pickens right now. We gonna sling us a big old worm onto the battlefield. That right there, the force to be reckoned with, I tell you what. And respond, they gonna activate their fancy card draw ring. Alright, I'm done sounding like Slim Pickens. We will cast a Brainstorm in response, placing the 2 lands back on top of our library. Now that the worm has landed, we will cast Lorien Revealed to draw 3 cards. We will continue to dig through our deck by casting Opt. Then we will cast the Brainstorm we just opted into, placing 2 lands back on top of our library. Then once again casting Lorien Revealed to draw 3 cards. Then you can call me to form because I'm about to pull up my second big worm.
Hey,
Man, it's always been my lifelong dream to have 2 digs. You know what I'm saying? Get more work done on the weekend. Yeah. Okay, that is fucking it. I knew robbing that gypsy at Home Depot would come in handy. Say goodbye, punk. If you stay out of my body, you bronze Hollywood god. Well, while we were doing our DIY at-home exorcism, our opponent has been sifting through their deck trying to find an answer to our 2 giants we have on the battlefield. Well, if they found an answer, they're waiting till the combat step to use it. So we'll go ahead and swing with our 2 big 15-15 worms in an attempt to end this game. Oh, no, this game is over.
Counter Spell!
Take on your typical burdens, fix up your heart if